You wake before the city. A key turns. Screens glow in a quiet room. Maps breathe. Tiny dots begin to move. Someone clears a throat. Someone else sips coffee. The day is about to start. Here's the question that brought you here. What does it cost to keep the subway alive for one day? The short answer lands like a steel door closing. About $22,000. That is one sunrise to the next. One ordinary day. No special event. No snowstorm. Just the daily heartbeat of a city. But the better answer lives inside the day. It hides in small choices. Did we send one more train? Did we hold a door 10 seconds longer? Did a dispatcher nudge a schedule? Did a mechanic hear something off in a wheel? Did a cleaner beat the first rush by 5 minutes? Those decisions look tiny. They aren't. They roll downhill into money. So today we're not just naming a total. We're walking with it. We will follow the system like a shadow. Yards to platforms, shops to tunnels, control rooms to stairwells. We will meet the people who make the clock keep time. Hands that sign in at dark o'clock. Voices that stay calm when the map blinks. Eyes that notice a bolt out of place. You rarely meet them. You feel their work every morning. 2 open loops for your brain to chew on. First, where does that money actually go hour by hour? Not in theory, in reality. Second, what hidden switches make the total jump or sink without warning? Not a scandal, not a miracle. Just the math of a living machine. Here's the plan. We break the day into 7 buckets. People, power, maintenance, stations and cleaning, signals and the brain, insurance, and the quiet glue we call overhead. Each one gets a single clean number. No number salad, no fire hose, just one figure per bucket. You will hear it once. Then we move on. Along the way, we will show you 3 tiny experiments. What if the electric bill grows by 1/5? What if average speed drops by 2 miles per hour? What if ridership dips by 1/10 while the trains keep running? Nothing dramatic, just believable nudges. You will feel how a small change becomes a big receipt. To keep this human, we tell stories. Rosa in the yard, steady hands at dawn. Jay in the shop, listening to a wheel sing off key. Lena on the stairs, catching a spill before a slip. A controller whose job is to buy 2 minutes when the city needs them. No logos, no vendors, only the people you never notice and the work you always rely on. This is not a lecture, it's a ride-along. You will hear the rhythm of a day. You will hear the calm in chaos. You will feel why the bill is large. Large does not mean waste by default. Large means scale. Scale means choices. Choices mean trade-offs. Trade-offs become dollars before midnight. At the end, we print a simple receipt. Line by line, 1 figure per line. Then a quick cost per ride using a weekday crowd, not to judge, to understand. Once you understand, you can argue with clarity. Where to invest, where to save, where to stop asking the impossible of physics and people. Ready? Grab the rail, mind the gap. We're going underground. By the time we come back up, you'll know where the money went, and you'll know which invisible switches moved it. Start with people, because people move the city. Operators who know every squeal by station. Conductors who speak calm into crowded air. Dispatchers who make 5 seconds feel like a gift. Mechanics who judge a car by a vibration through a glove. Station agents who read faces faster than cameras do. Cleaners who can reset a platform before a song finishes. Benefits keep them here. Experience keeps you safe. This is the largest slice. It takes the lion's share for a reason. The system is labor-heavy because safety is labor-heavy. The number for this bucket is simple once. $13,200,000 for a day like today. We say it once, we move on. But remember it, most costs echo from this bucket. Power is next. You hear it more than you see it. A hum behind a door that says, authorized personnel only. A cool breeze from a vent that saved your morning. Escalators waking up like old friends. Pumps pushing last night's rain away. Traction is the hungry moment. Every launch shoves a whole train into motion. Regenerative braking gives a little back. Rush hour still wins the appetite contest. Stations sip steadily. Lights, fans, elevators, data racks. One day's bill we round in one breath. $900,000. Remember that too. It will return in our experiments. Maintenance is the quiet craft. J hears a wheel sing a high note. That note means wear. A lathe will true the circle. A brake shoe will bite clean. Doors will shut smoother for a week because someone noticed a hinge. Under your feet, metal shifts like an old seabed. Track must be kept in line. Switches need love. Signals need clean contacts. Elevators need eyes and oil. The rhythm is constant. Parts in, old parts out. Shop hours pile up like measured snow. One day's slice lives here. $3,500,000. Stations and cleaning make the subway livable. Lena owns the first mop line before sunrise. Stair treads. Gum wars. A dripping ceiling that loses a fight with her bucket. Stations are the city's living room. They collect everything human. Morning coffee, leftover glitter. Stray music. Coverage rises with crowds. The morning asks for bodies. The evening asks again. The days share, we keep simple once. $2,600,000. Signals, IT, and the brain. A wall of screens in a room you rarely see. Colored lines breathe. Tiny dots obey logic. Someone whispers, hold 2 minutes on the local. Spacing is safety. Safety is data. Data rides radios, fibers, and code. The brain watches, predicts, and recovers. Here is one clean line for the day. $1,000. Insurance and claims are unglamorous, necessary gravity. The city is large and alive. Crowds, weather, property, the long tail of luck. Premiums move with history. Reserves sit like shock absorbers. On a quiet day, this still costs. On a loud day, you are grateful it exists. Today's smooth number is this: $400,000. Overhead and admin are the glue. Scheduling, training, procurement, compliance, payroll, audits. Someone updates a rule you never noticed. Someone else gets a part shipped before a rush. It isn't dramatic. It is essential. One day's sliver totals $400,000. Add those once. Do not replay them yet. You already feel the shape. Biggest to smallest. Human to electrical to mechanical. To cleanliness to brain to safety net to glue. A machine made of people, current, steel, soap, code, law, and paperwork. That is the subway's wallet. Hold the numbers in your head like stations on a line. We will tap them again soon. For now, keep moving. Some levers hide in plain sight. You don't notice them until the bill twitches. Then you can't unsee them. The first lever is electricity price, not just how much you use, what you pay for each unit. On a hot day, everything breathes harder. Fans push, pumps fight heat. Air moves because people need air. Rates can jump without adding a single train. A few cents per unit sounds harmless. It isn't. When your base is large, tiny percentages become six-figure changes before you hit midnight. Think of it like tuning a guitar that holds up a bridge. A quarter turn changes the song you play with money. The second lever is overtime and call-outs. This one feels human because it is. A system this big is staffed like a city. People get sick, people get stuck, people face weather and life. One missing crew is a calm reshuffle. 5 missing crews becomes choreography. Storms stretch bodies thin. Incidents stack minutes. The map doesn't wait. The ride must still feel normal, so the organization buys time with people. Overtime fills the gaps. The price is immediate. It lands on the biggest bucket like extra weight on a bridge. You don't see the weight. You feel the strain in the receipt. The third lever is train miles on the schedule. Headways are how the city breathes. Shorter gaps feel like a gift. That gift is not free. More trains means more operators, more conductors, more power drawn at the hungry moments, more wheels meeting more rail. Wear accelerates in tiny, honest increments. Even a modest increase ripples across buckets. Labor moves first, power follows. Maintenance hums in the background, counting rotations. The reverse is true. Trim a little and several lines on the receipt relax together. It is the cleanest lever to understand and the hardest to sell. Because headways are emotional, they are how riders feel the system's promise. There are smaller levers too. Temperature in stations changes how hard the fans work. The time of day you run maintenance changes how many flaggers you need. An equipment upgrade shifts energy draw, but also training time. A better door sensor lowers failures, but someone must maintain the sensor. Nothing moves alone. Every improvement comes with a cousin cost you must plan for. That's why the word system matters. Every dollar touches two other dollars. The point of seeing levers isn't to fear them. It is to choose them on purpose. If you know which switch moves which number, you stop guessing. You schedule smarter. You buy smarter. You train to the reality you actually run. The best money in operations is the money you don't spend by accident. We are hunting for accidents and turning them into plans. Keep these levers in your pocket as we walk the clock. When you hear a moment on the timeline, ask yourself which lever it touches. Was that price or usage? Was that overtime or base staffing? Was that extra capacity a decision or a default? By the end, you'll look at a crowd and quietly see the receipt forming. Not in dread, in clarity. Let's check the day from first light to deep night. Listen for those switches, you will hear them. 4:30 in the morning, the city is mostly asleep. The brain is not. Control rooms sign on. Night logs hand over like a relay baton. Screens breathe. Maps blink with settled calm. Someone calls the yards. Someone checks weather again. The labor clock starts ticking, gentle but sure. 5 o'clock. Yard push. Steel wakes. Doors seal with that familiar thump. Inspection tags flip from pending to done. Operators take their places with a practiced quiet. Traction ramps the way dawn ramps birdsong. This is the electrical appetite arriving. Accelerations string together like pearls on a fast cord. 6:15. Station reset slides into gear. Cleaners pass the baton to day crews. Booths roll open. Stair signs angle toward streams that haven't started yet. Small tasks now prevent big tasks later. A spill caught early is a slip prevented. A bin rolled sooner is a platform that breathes. It looks mundane, it is professional. 7. The first peak. Tight headways feel like a promise kept. Trains enter the chessboard faster. Crews double down on timing. Wear nudges upward. The rhythm is offense and defense at once. Passengers feel speed. Operators feel discipline. Dispatchers feel pressure like a steady hand on the shoulder. This is where labor and power sing a duet. 8:30. Recovery and tweaks. A small incident happens somewhere because cities are alive. A controller buys 2 minutes on one line to give another line room to breathe. You never know this happened. The map does. The lever here is overtime risk. If a delay stacks, people stay longer. If recovery is tight, everyone wins quietly. 9:45. Midday work windows open like sliding doors. Track crews move like a practiced squad. Signal techs crack open bungalows that smell like dust and voltage. Car shops turn lists into clean boxes. A wheel gets trued. A door gets adjusted. A brake gets its bite back. This is planned burn. Parts become performance again. It costs what it costs. It saves what it saves. The savings happen later when a failure never meets a rush. 3:30. The city exhales and inhales again. PM staging begins. Stations add eyes and hands. Agents brace for a second wave of tiny emergencies. Someone will drop a bag. Someone will need directions fast. Safety details thicken where crowds thicken. Labor pulses again because people pulse again. 10 at night, deep clean. Third rail cut zones appear like invisible fences for work crews. The hard jobs come out after bedtime. Heavy repairs move where they must. Overnight belongs to maintenance, like dawn belongs to dispatch. It is loud in places the public does not go. It is careful everywhere it matters. 2 in the morning, reset. Back to base headways. The next day is being shaped in a few lines on a screen. Orders for dawn get typed and checked. A plan becomes a routine. A routine becomes safety. Someone stretches a back and smiles because the board looks clean. You will never hear that smile. You will feel its result in the morning when things simply work. From first light to deep night, the same lesson repeats. Tiny decisions matter because the scale is huge. A single minute has a price when multiplied by 1,000 trains. A single choice about when to fix a thing changes who pays the overtime. The rhythm looks ordinary. It is engineering, logistics, and care braided together. You feel it in how your train arrives. We feel it in a receipt we are almost ready to print. Let's run 3 tiny experiments. Not fantasy. Just believable nudges that show how a day's bill bends. Experiment 1. Energy price climbs by a fifth. Same trains, same riders, no extra miles, only the rate changes. The power bucket takes the hit. Today that bucket sits at $900,000. Add a fifth and you get $1,080,000. You didn't change behavior, you changed the price of behavior. The new bottom line for the day becomes $22,180,000. You feel none of this while riding. Lights still glow, escalators still pull. Trains still launch with that steady push. But at midnight the bill is heavier. This is why energy contracts and timing matter. You can spend the same day twice if you buy power unwisely. Experiment 2. Average speed falls by 2 miles per hour. You didn't add trips. You added time to trips. Longer run times mean more crew hours. The labor bucket feels it first because people stay on duty. Energy dips a little because acceleration is softer and coasting stretches. But the labor increase is louder than the energy savings. Call it a $200,000 nudge upward by the time the clock resets. The new total becomes $22,200,000. You didn't notice a scandal. You noticed one extra song on your playlist between stops. Small, but paid for. Operations is full of choices like this. Every minute has a cost if 1,000 trains hold it. Experiment 3. Ridership dips by a tenth. Service stays steady. Why would service stay steady? Because headways are promises. Schedules serve reliability, not just crowds. So the total for the day does not change. It stays $22,000. What changes is the unit cost you never see on the platform. Spread the day over fewer rides, and each ride carries more of the bill. A weekday average we'll use soon is 3,376,000 rides. Take away a tenth and you get 3,038,000 rides. Divide the same total by fewer trips, and the cost per ride climbs to about $7.24. That number is not a fare. It is the physics of scale with fewer bodies moving through it. If you want resilience, you need baseline service that doesn't freeze when crowds thin. That is a choice. It shows up as a quiet rise in cost per ride. Thread these experiments together, and you learn a clean lesson. Price shifts on inputs hit immediately. Speed shifts change labor faster than they change electricity. Demand shifts change optics, more than totals, unless you cut service. If you must save real money fast without hurting riders, look for waste you can see and timing you can fix. Buy power smarter. Schedule smarter. Maintain like you mean it, so nothing fails in a rush. Small grown-up decisions beat big flashy ideas 9 days out of 10. Now that your intuition is warm, let's print the day. 1 line per bucket, no repeats, no noise, just the receipt. Here is the bill for one ordinary operating day. Line by line, no drama, just clarity. Crew meaning wages and benefits for the people who make the city move. Operators, conductors, dispatchers. Mechanics, station agents, cleaners, safety details. The work that turns chaos into commute. The figure for a day like this, $13,200,000. Electric power, meaning the current that launches trains and keeps stations alive. Traction for acceleration and control. Lighting, fans, elevators, and the digital backbone that carries information. The day's rounded slice, $900,000. Fleet and fixed assets maintenance, meaning parts and shop labor for railcars, tracks, switches, signals, and station equipment. A wheel trued, a brake renewed, a door that closes right the first time. This day's share, $3,500,000. Stations, cleaning, and safety coverage, meaning the work that keeps platforms usable and crowds steady. Morning resets, evening resets, event nights that bend the plan. The number we carry, $2,600,000. Signals, IT, and control centers, meaning the brain and the nerves. Screens that watch everything. Radios that keep promises. Code that spaces trains safely. Today's portion, $1,000. Insurance and claims, meaning the safety net that smooths the bad days and steadies the quiet ones. Premiums and reserves that exist so one incident doesn't break the machine. The daily line we use, $400,000. Admin and other overhead, meaning the glue. Scheduling, training, procurement, compliance, payroll, audits. The unflashy tasks that let the flashy ones exist. The day's sliver, $400,000. Add them together once. You already know where this lands. $22,000 for one sunrise to the next. That is the total we have walked through without repeating it to exhaustion. You heard each line once. You felt the story attached to each line. That's the point. Numbers are easier when they wear faces. Here is a final curiosity before we sign the check. What does this feel like per ride on a weekday? Use a simple crowd number that fits a steady day. 3,376,000 trips as a base for the picture. Divide the total by that crowd. You get about $652 per ride in operating cost. If crowds dipped by a tenth and service stayed steady, the unit cost rises to about $724. Not a fare, a way to understand scale. A way to see why steady service matters even when platforms look thin. What should you do with this knowledge? Start spotting the levers in the wild. A train held 2 minutes to give another line air. That is a choice you can now price in your head. A cool station on a hot day. That is a fan working harder and a power meter nudging up. A wheel that doesn't squeal anymore. That is maintenance done on time, paid today, so tomorrow stays calm. If this breakdown surprised you, tell us what part did it. Was it people? Was it power? Was it how a single minute becomes money when multiplied? Drop your favorite moment in the comments. Tap like if this helped you see the city in a new way. It's a small action for you. It's huge for the channel. It tells us to keep going deeper, one everyday system at a time. And that's the day. From a key in a quiet room to a clean board at 2 in the morning. From the dots on a map to the train you catch without thinking. Now you know the bill. Now you know the levers. We'll see you on the next ride. Bring your curiosity, we'll bring the receipt.